Blog Talk Radio.
What's up, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. Kevin Sirkin here once again, getting things started in place of Tyson Roush, who should be here in a little bit. A huge thank you once again, as always, to everybody that's been joining us on the live streams and interacting on YouTube throughout the year. The support has just been beyond overwhelming this year. We apologize if things got a little bit crazy on Sunday. Obviously, I was pissed. Tyson was pissed. We're both still pissed off. You throw some drinks into the mix, and chaos is bound to happen. But my job should be pretty easy tonight. I'm pretty sure I can just sit back and let Tyrone vent until Tyson gets back. So let's bring on Hollywood.
Make it hot, big. Yo!
What's going on, dude? How you feeling?
Yo! Where do I start at, prime time? Listen. Hey,
the floor is yours, man.
30,000 views of what you guys have been doing, man. First and foremost, I want to put that out there, man. There's no content like what you guys are doing right now. Point blank, period. All right, now let's get to this bullshit. Yo, all these people are sending me messages, man, talking about I ain't a Jet fan or, I don't care about this team, man. Yo, you dumb as shit. Because I'm going to tell you why, right? Yo, losing Trevor Lawrence was probably, man, the most heart-wrenching thing I could ever see for a meaningless win. So not only losing Trevor Lawrence, now we lose out on a good coach wanting to come here. You understand what I'm saying? So everyone is saying, well, we can rebuild, we can build around Sam. I understand that, right? But so you expect Sam to be this great player in his fourth year with his third head coach and his third offensive system. He's supposed to progress and just become this amazing guy with all this BS, man. It's just crazy, man. And it's like, yo, it's what I'm so used to, and I knew this was gonna happen, man. I knew we was gonna find a way to f this up, and I'm sorry, man.
I tried to warn all you guys last week. Everybody was, celebrating. We only got 3 games left. There's no way we're beating the Rams. I was like, you know what? It's still the Jets. There's always that possibility, and sure enough, they find a way to do us 30. And again, for me, like you make it like it's the end of the world with Sam Darnold. I'm still not in that boat. I get, why a lot of fans have, completely jumped off that ship. But for me, the worst part about this is possibly losing out on the best coach, because that was your chip right there. The number one bargaining chip, first overall pick, plus all the cap space you have. You could do whatever the hell you want. Trevor Lawrence, trade back, take Justin Fields, Trey Lance, whoever the hell you want, however you want to do it. That first overall pick was the ticket to that. Now I'm not so sure how they get that guy in here.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, and I'm not bashing Sam and say, I don't think Sam is talented. I love Sam. The problem is, man, we just lost out on probably the best coach that we could possibly have. So now we have to settle for the second best. Everyone was like, well, we could take Fields. I'm sorry. Fields proved Saturday, bro, that he's not ready. That's just what the point I was making. I'm not knocking the kid. I don't got a problem with the kid. He's just not ready. So any quarterback you're talking about drafting is not better than what we have right now. So build around Sam. Sounds good, right? The problem is building around Sam. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys understand how hard it's going to be for another coach to come in with a player that you got to fix with somebody else broken? He didn't get broken by one coach. He got broken by 2 coaches. This will be his third system. No. It's time to move on. This is what hurts the most. Then losing out on that, man. Listen, and then, Trevor Lawrence could be a bust. Could be. But we'll never know now because, you know what I'm saying, this is the whole point with it, man. And so all this, like, guys going at you guys going at me, it's bullshit.
Well, I was going to say, first off, like, with Sam, I feel like at this point, it wasn't even an argument anymore, Sam Darnold versus Trevor Lawrence. We all knew if the Jets were picking first, they were taking Trevor Lawrence. The problem now, picking second, is that Sam Darnold is pretty much – and again, I'm still one of the biggest Sam supporters out there. The problem is, though, he is still pretty much – you can pretty much put him now with Justin Fields and all those other guys as a question mark, an unknown. We don't know. I like to believe that he could be built up. I still see the flashes there. He's a young enough kid. I still think he's a talented enough kid where the right coach, the right talent can build him up, but he's still a question mark. The same way Justin Fields would be a question mark, the same way any one of these other kids would be a question mark. You know, people like to say
Absolutely.
Trevor Lawrence is not proven. He's the closest thing to proven that we've seen in a decade, and that's why that was the best opportunity you had to get the best head coach.
Yeah.
You still might be able to get a good coach in here. You still might be able to build around Sam Darnold and build a winner that way, but we definitely chose the more difficult path to do it, and that's what's frustrating.
And also, man, and listen, man, and I don't want anybody thinking that, I've given up on Sam. I haven't given up on Sam. It's just the point of, this is the best we've seen Sam play in 13 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? We watched 2 or 3 bad weeks that made us come to this decision. This is when it was time, okay, well, maybe it's time to move on. This kid is broken. He has one good game. He's like, okay, his one good game is our franchise. Our ownership screws our franchise. Not having a good coach screws our franchise. This is the problem, man.
And that's why I just like touching on what you said before, about like people calling you out as fake fans, and like we've got messages like that, plenty, and I see all the celebrations going on, and I preface this the same way every single time. You are free to root however you want as a fan. You spend your time, you spend your money rooting for this team. You can root however you want, but please just tell me what it accomplishes. If 6 wins didn't mean shit from last year to this year, why would 1 win mean anything for next year?
Absolutely.
How does it make the Jets better going forward? And I'm a bad fan for wanting to win long term instead of wanting to win a game that means absolutely nothing. I mean, dude, it's Tuesday. We're 1-13, and there are actual fans celebrating still like we won something. If it makes you feel good, do you. Just please explain to me how it makes the Jets better. You're no better or worse of a fan, but I can logically explain how 0-16 helps the Jets get better for the future by bringing in the right coach, starting over fresh with Trevor Lawrence. I can explain how that helps. You cannot explain to me how 1-15, cures all of this bullshit that we've seen. The people throwing confetti cannot explain that. And again, I'm not mad at all. Again, just touching on this part too. I'm not mad at Becton or any player. They have a job to do. I get it. Players and coaches do not realistically tank. I understand that. Now try understanding from the fans' perspective. Their job is to root for a championship, right? We've all been here before, right? We've all been here before seeing all these meaningless wins in December that have not produced anything. And as fans, we've been here long before all these players. We'll be here long after all these guys are gone. So don't tell me what's good or what's bad or how to root. Whether you're a player, a media guy, another fan who thinks you're better than me, don't tell me how to root. I put in my time. I put in my money. I watch every single game. You're no better. You're no worse than me. I see a different path for how to win.
Absolutely. And, the funny thing, Primetime, I think everybody that was rooting for the tank are true Jet fans. Like, I mean, and I'm not knocking anybody. And I don't want nobody to take it, take it that way. It just hurts because we're so tired of fucking losing. Like, aren't you
have to be a true Jet fan to be watching this rooting for losses? I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely. I've never done that. But I was doing it this week. I was, like like how mad I was at listen, it was so bad. I was drunk at 7 o'clock. I was in the bed at 7:15. Knocked out. Sleep. Done. Ruined, bruh. Like, I don't want to cut my ring off. I don't even want to fucking talk to nobody. It was so bad in my house, my dog didn't come near me. No, man, this is crazy. And no one seems to understand. It's like, no. It's nuts. It's nuts.
And like, you from the other side, like, if you're a fan that's like talking shit to players, also like the same thing. You're a clown too. But if you're a player talking shit to fans, you have not walked in the fans' shoes. It works both ways. I don't pretend to be in your shoes as an athlete. You're fighting for your job. You're trying to win. You're trying to earn a contract. I don't pretend to be in your shoes. Do not pretend to be in my shoes as a Jet fan when you've been here 5 minutes. Darryl Roberts was talking that same shit a couple years ago. Where's he now? He speaks for Jet fans?
Primetime.
Please.
Let me ask you a question. Primetime. How long have you been a Jet fan, Primetime? How long have you been a Jet fan?
My entire life. I've been born into this. I've gone to I've missed 4 home games since the 94-95 season.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Name one player on this Jets roster that's been there 10 years. Bilal Powell was the last one, right?
Yep. I don't think they have anybody. Who's their longest tenured Jet right now?
Exactly. Nobody. Listen, you can't. I don't think nobody over 3 or 4 years.
No. Might be Sam.
Exactly. Exactly, Sam. So you know what the problem becomes? is we've suffered this shit for 25 and 30 fucking years of losing. We're fucking sick of it. It's sickening.
And that's another point, dude. Like, if we were the Steelers, if we were the Ravens going through this year, okay, like, we could root for wins at this point in the year. I want to see young guys play well. We would have trust in the organization to turn it around quick. We've been going through this same process now for a decade straight. There's no wins. There's been no light at the end of the tunnel. These meaningless wins in December haven't produced any good players in the draft. Like, we're circling the wagon, and we're not producing anything out of it. So let's maybe change it up a little bit. Let's actually hit rock bottom. Entice that new head coach, the right head coach, to come here. Get the right quarterback, or trade down and build, a stockpile. However that coach wants to do it, you give him the chance, but you get him in the door with that pick.
Yep. I mean, listen, man, like, and like I said, man, like, you're talking about Class 1 organizations. I'm sorry. Anybody that's been a Jet fan, if you haven't been a Jet fan under 10 years, don't say shit to me. I'm sorry. Real talk. I don't want to hear your bullshit. Yeah, man, I became a Jet fan when we started winning with Rex. Okay, I was here through Kotite, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know how long it's been since I got the feel of victory? Or how nice it was to see Rex win? That was 10 years ago. 10 years. We haven't won in 10 years.
For me, it's not even so much about longevity. Like, whether you're a Jet fan for 5 years, 50 years, I don't care. Like, you should understand at this point where the Jets are. They have not won in a decade. You should want to turn this thing around as quickly as possible. It's clear that the right people are not there at the top, meaning ownership. They can't do it on their own. They need help. They need all the help they can get. So to put this decision in their hands, where you're evaluating 4 or 5 different quarterbacks, 4 or 5 different second-tier head coaching options, and we're going to trust them to make the right call when they had Kingsbury and Rule and all these other guys in their building, and they chose Adam Gase, we're going to trust them now to make this shit right.
And the sad part is, man, and I'm sorry for spazzing, man, but I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, I'm so sick of this shit, man. Like, I am tired of losing. I'm tired, and it's like, I don't care if we lose and then we fixing the problem, but to lose and have the same reoccurring problem, reoccurring situation every single year with no end to this shit, end this rebuild.
Yep, and that's what Tyson was trying to touch on. Like there was a means to an end. All this losing, the players were getting a pass for it. We weren't angry. They were all getting a pass for it because we saw the light at the end of the tunnel. 3 more games, and this all gets erased away. Now, we don't know what the future is now. Now, again, like Tyson was talking about yesterday, we're evaluating all these different, quarterback options, in the combine most likely, unless something happens crazy these last 2 weeks, if the Jaguars are winning the game. Who knows if we get the top coaching candidate in here. It's going to be a long process now. They're going down the more difficult path. And, like I said, whether you wanted to keep Sam, whether you wanted Trevor Lawrence, you still wanted that number 1 pick because that's your best ammunition.
Because listen, and this is my whole point in prime time. I think you knocked it out of the park when you said, show me what this 1 win gets us. Show me. I'll listen all day. Prove your point to me. Like, this is my whole thing. The number 1 pick in the draft, you could have got a good coach, Trevor Lawrence. Plus, we got $90 million in cap money, man. When it's only going to be like 5 teams with cap money this year, we can turn this shit around. And don't get me wrong, we can trade down with the second pick, take the kid from Oregon, no problem. I don't want to take a quarterback that's not better than what I have right now. That's my problem. Yep. But then also my problem is not knowing what Sam can truly be because he wasn't, he wasn't evaluated properly. So in 3 years, I got a handful of games. I can't make a judgment on that. You know what I mean? Like, so now,
most likely they're not going to have a choice because all these options are question marks.
At all.
But by trading back from number 2, that probably is your best bet to building a team.
Absolutely.
What's Sam's value right now? You're probably getting, a second-round pick and maybe a conditional 4th or a 5th, something like that.
Hey,
probably not a first-rounder. You trade back from 2, you're getting an additional first plus more. So that's probably your best roster.
And the only thing you can really do, which I would suggest, is trade back and build around Sam. You know what? Pick up his 5th-year option. That gives you 2 years. And draft another quarterback. Because my point is this. At least you'll have a ready team if you have to get a quarterback eventually, if Sam is not the guy. But Trevor Lawrence was a full restart. You understand what I'm saying? Like, do y'all understand this? Trevor Lawrence was a full rebuild. The rebuild was over. You're done. now we're back to the rebuild. Like, shit. It's never going to end. Never.
It's really unbelievable, dude. I mean, I'm not like, I'm not jumping off the ledge like a lot of people are. Like, this is the complete end of the world. But they just made it so much more difficult on themselves by winning a game that they had no business trying to win. And I'll say it for the third time. I know the players are not trying to lose. I know the coaching staff isn't trying to lose. But there's ways around that. At this point, you are 0-13. Play James Morgan. Where was Joe Douglas with the mandate? Hey, we don't need to see any more of Sam. We don't need to have Frank Gore out there making all these veteran plays now all of a sudden. He knows where, the first down marker is, of course, with the game on the line, gets the first down. We don't need to see that. Like, all the young guys should have been playing Cameron Clark, James Morgan, Lawrence Cager. Empty out the bottom of your roster and get some experience. Yeah, all of them. And if you still win, all right, so be it. But Adam Gase coaching for his job, back against the wall, has no reason to give the Jets Trevor Lawrence? Why let that be the way?
No reason. No, listen, and that was the whole point of it, man. Like, it was and I heard someone say this, man, and I almost fucking lost it, man. It was like, Gates, man, maybe we should bring him back. What? Are you a fucking idiot? And it was like, bro, like, you have to be. Have you been watching the last 2 years? Have you been watching? Like, we are at the end of every statistical category in the NFL. NFL. Watching.
That was driving me nuts after the game. Listening to Gase talk about how McVay called him up on the Wednesday or Thursday, during the week, saying, man, you guys are really practicing hard. Like, that's basically just him saying, hey, Chris, look, my guys are still fighting for me. You should bring me back for another year. They haven't quit yet. I'm getting progress. We're still practicing hard. I mean,
we're
like,
the best
Jesus,
practice
the bar is so, dude, the bar is so fucking low for the team and for the fan base. Like, for the people that are celebrating this, how low is the bar that this makes you feel good? It drives me nuts, dude.
It hurts, man. I mean, because we're so tired of losing. Like, every year it's like, honestly, bro, like, seriously. I mean, you talk about winning. I mean, you could go back to Ty Bowles' first season when we met, the Buffalo game. We're not going to bring that bad-ass memory back up. But that was all we had in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, bro. Like, no, you understand how it feels to be at the bottom for 5 years and not even have a plan
for 10 years.
To rebuild
for 10 years. Really for 10 years. But you know what? I'm glad you brought up that Buffalo game, because here's why I'm not giving Joe Douglas a full pass. I'm still a believer in Joe Douglas. I think he's the right football guy for right now. I have some questions, definitely, because he's an Adam Gase guy, and, certainly his first year and a half, I'd like to see more building blocks here. But, one of the reasons I'm not giving him a pass is because Mike McCagnon, his first year, I think he inherited a worse situation taking over what Idzik left him, not having that young quarterback. And he made some under-the-radar moves with guys like Marshall, Fitzpatrick. He had the cap space, same cap space that Joe Douglas had this offseason. He signed Revis, and they won 10 games right away. So Joe Douglas took this roster that was 7-9 that he told us wasn't a fluke. 6-2 down the stretch, that was not a fluke. We're going to improve this roster. We're going to bring in our own guys. And the result of it is now 1-13, and we're not even going to get the number one pick. So, I get his plan, which was, I guess, not to take any risky moves this offseason, stockpile draft picks. I understand it. Now the spotlight starts to shine on him. Now he's got to hit on those picks because Jamal's still balling out, Robbie's balling out, like Leo's balling out. You got to start replacing those guys now, especially on the offensive side. We haven't had an offense in forever. You probably ruined the quarterback. Got to build around either him or take your new guy. Like, he's got the spotlight on him directly now.
And the funny part about it is, man, everyone knows we have a lack of talent. Everyone knows that we had, it wasn't going to be fixed in a season. We understood that. But to watch the incompetence of what continuously goes on every single week is the most difficult thing for me. Is watching the same product being put out every single week, and no one is held accountable. Man, it's just frustrating, and it's beyond. You know what? It's beyond frustrating. As fans, we deserve more. We should demand more. I mean, and I understand. I'm not mad at the players. I mean, listen, I play ball at a high level. I understand, man. I hate to lose. I'm definitely going to agree to that any day of the week. I do not like to lose, but to watch what's being done and watching the same product. I mean, we're going to be 6-10 for the next 10 years at this process without being able to fix it. And that's the whole point of what it is fixing this. And I understand, Joe D has to have time, and I understand that. But at the same time, the fan base is, we're losing patience because we see the same thing over and over again. We watch these guys hire a guy like Gates who came from a team that he destroyed. And we watch him, and what frustrates me more than anything is Cleveland. We watched Cleveland fire their coach because he wasn't the right guy. And now they're winning. But instead of us doing that, we keep this guy for another season. He gives us one remarkable victory, and now all is well. It's just bullshit, bro. It's crazy.
Baker's on his fourth coach now. He's on his fourth coach now.
Exactly. But, listen, the one thing I respect about them, they're going to keep doing it until you get it right. I ain't mad with that philosophy.
Yep. No, I totally agree with that philosophy. Continuity makes no sense if it's the wrong continuity. It just does more damage, as we've seen this year. Sam Darnold did not get better this year. He got worse. So there was no continuity factor. There was no chemistry. None of that carried over from last year. He didn't get better. He got worse.
And if you want to make Sam better, man, the one thing we were talking about this whole time, man, is fix the offensive line. Give this kid a running game. And you can hide some of his defects while he grows. This was never done. Now you want to wait to year 4 and try to accomplish this shit. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. This is the best receiving core he's had in the 3 years he's been here. And they only been on the field together 3 times. Does that make any sense to you?
No.
Frank Gore is your leading running back. When you got Ty Johnson and your man back there, why are they not getting carries? When Ty Johnson is clearly faster and better for the offense. You want to win? Show me a plan of why you're trying to win. But you running Gore and doing what you're doing, it's proving you just want to prove that you're smarter than everyone else. And it's not working. Nothing
about any of the roster decisions or anything like that. The way they, like you said, they didn't hold anybody accountable until Greg Williams. They held him, he was the guy they finally held accountable, for the one mistake, with the cover 0. But Adam Gase now 30 games, we've seen a lot of the mistakes and probably about 27 of them. He's not held accountable. Dowell Loggins not held accountable. Frank Pollock, offensive line coach, not held accountable. So, the way they try to do things, and then, you would think a team 0-13 want to see the young guys. No, let's trot Frank Gore out there. Let's keep playing the veterans.
Exactly.
Everything is ass backwards with this team.
Absolutely. Where's Clark? Where's Morgan? This kid hasn't been active all season. Take him in the 4th round. They're not going to play the kid. You're not going to put him on the rock. It makes no sense.
We saw that play out a couple of years ago. It's probably a sign that he just sucks, and that he's not actually ready to be in a game. When they didn't put Hackenberg in there, when all the signs said, hey, it's your 2nd-round pick, it's a meaningless game, how do you not get a look at him? Well, he sucked. He wasn't ready to play in the NFL. So that's probably the case with James Morgan. And I hope that's not the case with Cameron Clark. I know he was, hurt a little bit to start the year. Hopefully it's more, just injury-related, getting caught up on the playbook. But even still, that's a reflection on coaching. You can't coach up your young players to have them ready to even be active. 4th-round picks can't even be active at this point in the season when you're not playing for anything. That's a reflection on you as a bad quarterback.
It's a quarterback on top of that. We're talking about a quarterback. You took this guy when there was better receiver. It was receivers on the board, which we needed. It was, it was offensive guards on the board, which we needed. It was cornerbacks, which we needed. It was a lot of players that we could have grabbed that could really contribute this season. No. You take a quarterback that you're not even going to fucking play. That hasn't been active this season.
Makes absolutely no sense.
Chaos, man.
And again, apologies if we're too negative, but this is not the week for all the the sunshine and rainbows. There's nothing good about this. If you think there's something positive to take away from this game, please call in. I will not. I will not clown you. I will not. I will not call you names. I will give you a platform. I will let you speak. I want to hear, what does this win do for you? How does it make the Jets better? Please tell me.
Prime time might not be clowning, but I might do a little clowning myself. So I'm just saying, please explain to me what that one victory did for you and how it makes us better. I would love to hear that. And also, man, I want to jump off of Gate for a little bit, and I want to say this. the big ticket and Quinnen Williams not making the Pro Bowl is some bullshit. Straight fact.
Yep.
Straight fact. How do you lead the Pro Bowl vote in voting and still don't make it? That's crazy.
Well, I don't put too much stock in the vote because the vote's more of like, a popularity contest. But Becton, I thought should have been there. Quinnen, I thought was even more deserving than Becton. You look at his numbers compared to Cam Hayward. I know he was tweeting stuff out. I mean, he blows Cam Hayward away. You look at Becton, though, there were some quality tackles that got picked between Tunsil, Orlando Brown, and Eric Fisher. So, I mean, you can make the case for any of those guys being, Pro Bowl tackles. But with Quinnen, he definitely got snubbed.
Exactly, but like I said, that's how they look at this team, and I hate that for them guys, man. Because you know what, everyone that was thinking Quinnen was a bust. Hey, this kid worked his ass off this off season. He came in here, bro. Hey, listen, he is a man amongst boys. He's exactly who we thought he was going to be when we drafted him. And him and Fakat, bro, I love watching those two guys together, and I hope that's going to be our future. Like I said, man, watching the team this week, I love mostly what I saw. I didn't want to win, but I was cool with the way these guys are playing. They were flying around playing good defense, doing their thing, and I appreciate that. Sam made some good decisions, but it just doesn't make sense to me, man, how that helps us. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, it's a meaningless win for a really meaningless coach, and that's just what it was. But I don't know if we played well or the Rams just played that bad. But I will say this, though. I like watching Becton go against – yeah, absolutely. But I like watching Becton go against Donald, bro. I like that, bro. That was bro. I like that when they put him on this side. Let's go, big dog. Like, like I said, the Rams defensive line was really, really ferocious. And, for the most part, our offensive line played well. But if you want Sam to be successful, give him time. You know what I'm saying? Give them time. But like I said, man, I don't know what we at, man. It's a whole new drawing board, man. They ruined my damn day. I can tell you that. They ruined my week, to be honest with you.
Ruined my year. And that says a lot in 2020.
Yes. Oh, bro, listen. Bro, listen, only the Jets. Only the Jets. Listen, I'm just strolling, looking at comments, man. I mean, I'm just laughing while I have tears in my eyes, man. I think everybody that follow us on Twitter, bro, hey, man, you guys were fucking hilarious, bro. Like, I see somebody with a Jets coffin walking through a cliff and threw it off. Like, it was just that bad, bro. It was like, everyone just felt the pain, man. It was hard, bro. Like, and everyone is all excited that we won. I mean, I hope it feels good when we be in the same situation next year. 1-13.
Yeah, they're still celebrating now, but like we've been saying, come April, come draft time, I'm sure they're gonna regret it. And one last thing before we
cry later.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, exactly. One last thing before we get to the phone lines. Condolences, really, just to Kevin Greene, his family.
Absolutely.
58 years old. Sucks hearing about that. We were on the sidelines, back in 2016, 2017 when he was coaching up the linebackers, and I know Frankie Louvu and Malden and a few other guys. They sent out some respects to him. So he was just such an awesome coach to watch. I know he was only there for 2 years, but just ferocious, intense. The most vocal coach that we had on the sidelines for those 2 years. So, thoughts with him, his family, and yep.
Absolutely, man. Prayers go out to him and his family, man. Like I said, man, watching him coach the guys up, bro. He coached like he played, man. That's why, you couldn't do nothing but love everything that he did, man. So, condolences, respect goes to his family. A great player, a great coach, and a great man, as everyone has said. So, prayers go up.
All right, so I don't know if we should start with a phone call or if we should bring on Tyson.
Man, bring on the OG, triple OG, a.k.a.
I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared. It was his birthday yesterday. I didn't see him smile at all, not once during the 2-hour live stream. Tyson, how you doing, man?
What's up, T?
I mean, what
Happy
what
birthday,
could possibly
OG?
be wrong?
Happy
What could
birthday,
possibly be wrong?
OG? Hey, the Jets gave you the perfect birthday gift. They fucked your birthday.
Yep. Dude, you know what's funny, Tyrone? You know how many times they've ruined a holiday for me between Christmas Eve disasters with a Giants game, the Ravens game. Like it's a yearly gift that keeps on giving New York Jets. I'm so happy to be a fan today.
Hey, listen, that one hurt the most, bro, for me. That one hurt, bro. Like that one really hurt. Like that one really was. That was probably going to go down in history as one of my worst Jets wins ever. And it's weird to even say that. Hey, man, what was the worst Jets experience? Hey, bro, when we won, bro, against the Rams, bro. Like, what? You won? No. We lost. we won, but we lost. Man, it sucks. How you doing, bro? What's your birthday, man?
Dude, it's all right, man. I've been so busy, man, with I'm blessed. I'm just busy with training and coaching and doing a lot of stuff, so I'm keeping myself pretty busy. So, but what we'll do is let's go to the calls, man. There's a lot of people on hold. I'm sure you guys tore things up, so prime time, go right to it, man.
So do you want to start with Steve, or do we save that for?
No. Let's get a little warmed up first, then we'll just roast. We'll talk to Steve.
Okay. So let's start it off with David in Richmond, Virginia, in your neck of the woods. Dave, what's going on, man?
What's going
Dave?
on, fellas? We really screwed ourselves this week, guys. I hate to say it. The guys, man, they look good and just the first half was enjoyable, but the second half, I hated the second half of the game, fellas. And we really screwed ourselves, and we just gift wrapped Trevor Lawrence to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's just, what do we do now?
Yeah, what is your plan now at especially at quarterback number 2? Are you sticking with Sam, or are you taking Fields or somebody else?
Well, we got to stick with Sam. I think Fields is okay, but I don't know. I don't know if he's ready for the next level. The kid from BYU, he's still got a question mark. He's okay. I like his talent. I like his skill set, but I really don't know how he's going to act in the NFL. So my best guess is to trade back, pick up some extra picks, and rebuild the offense for Sam. That's the only thing we got left to do, to be honest with you guys. I'm not happy about it at all, but that's pretty much the best situation that we can think of. Is the only thing that I'm worried about is the head coach. Like you said, with the first round pick, with the first pick of the draft, we had our pick of the litter as far as coaches goes. Now, who's going to come in here and coach Sam Darnold and try to rebuild the roster? That's the biggest question I have.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question for you. How much do you think this impacts the head coaching search, and do you think what Phil Douglas might think would affect how he approaches the head coaching job search? Is he looking for somebody that wants Sam? Is he looking for somebody that wants a fresh start with somebody new?
What I'm thinking is, to be honest with you guys, I'm thinking Joe's now that we don't have the number 1 pick anymore, and if we don't have it at the end of the year, I'm thinking he's going to go back to his comfort zone. Maybe somebody from Philly, maybe somebody from Chicago. I'm hearing Doug Peterson. I'm really not that excited about him, but I'm thinking he's going to go back to his comfort zone and bring somebody in there who he's worked with before. Now that we don't have the all-time, the pick of the number 1 draft of Trevor Lawrence. If we had Trevor Lawrence, then anybody would have came and signed up with coaches. But if we don't have him, we got to stick with Sam. I think we're at second or third, fourth pick, to be honest with you guys.
Well, you know what's so crazy, brother? I'm going to say this right here. And you're absolutely correct. That's the point we were both trying to make earlier. Losing out on a coach is the biggest thing. The next coach is really going to set the bar. If you get somebody that doesn't have experience, or somebody that's been rewatched, and I'm looking at a guy anybody that he wants to bring in that's been rewatched. Please rewatch. I don't want that. Gates is a rewatched coach. That's why we're here now. And you can't win
the way I'm thinking is we have to find a coach who's going to be willing to coach Sam Darnold, which I really don't see anybody out there. That just because of the tape that he's put on for the last 3 years. And that's what I'm scared of, to be honest with you guys. I don't know who's going to coach the team, who's going to evaluate the team, who's going to coach the team up and inspire the team.
If Joe Douglas wants to keep Sam Darnold, how do you think that plays out though in the coaching search? Are they going to look for somebody that will inherit Sam, or will he allow the head coach to make a decision to say, I want to move on from Sam?
I'm thinking that he's going to. Yeah, whoever the coach is going to be, it's going to be their decision whether we move on from the quarterback or we draft somebody at the number 2 pick. Which I'm really kind of scared because number 2, Trevor's going number 1. We have Justin Fields, which, like I said, I'm not sold on. Zach Wilson, I'm not necessarily sold on. So, I mean, the best bet is to stick with what you got, that at least you know that Sam's shown potential, even though he's had an effed up offense, but he's shown some sort of potential. I mean, we're looking at going 6-10, 7-9, 8-8 next year, to be honest.
Well, and to be honest with you, man, we need somebody credible. Like, you know, like somebody like now, we had to look at a guy like Marvin Lewis. Like Marvin Lewis could come in and give us stability and fix this. The problem with what it is, we need a coach that can lead this
quarterback.
team. Exactly. Right. Well, no, lead this team in every aspect, though, and bringing the right kind of guys that can coach these guys up. That's the problem. Now that you don't have the first pick in the draft, you limit yourself at being able to go and get a top-tier coach.
Absolutely.
Because they're going to look.
Absolutely.
Because who wants to come in and be like, look, I don't have a quarterback. The most important piece on the chessboard you don't have.
Right, and that's exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say, look, I don't have the number one pick. We have to stick with Sam Darnold. Like I said, he's shown a little bit of potential, but not enough for the warrant the top 2 or 3 coaches to want to come in here. We've got a real big problem on our hands, and we're not sure how we're going to fix it. It's really big.
Yeah, great call, man. Appreciate you calling in. Yes.
Have a good night, bro. Have a good night.
All right.
Yeah, we got plenty of calls on hold, so we got to kind of move it along here. Next up, we got Sean in Maryland. Sean, what's going on, dude?
What's going on, Sean?
What's up, guys? What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Oh, I've been better. How about you?
Miserable.
Oh,
How you doing, bro?
Come on, stop.
How you feeling, man?
Stop. I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good.
Oh, no.
Y'all guys got to stop. I'm telling you.
Hey, listen,
y'all
Sean,
gotta stop.
Please explain why.
Okay.
First of all, you don't root for your team to lose. You just don't.
Why?
As fans,
Why?
I get it. Because you just don't. That's not the culture. You're talking about we have to have a winning culture with the Jets organization. As fans, you never see the Pittsburgh Steelers wishing their team to lose and get a better draft pick. You never see all these winning franchises doing that as well.
Look at the way the Steelers are running. Look at the way the Jets are running.
Prime time. Can I please say something? Please.
No, hold on. Give me a couple of minutes. Let me say what I got to say.
Go ahead. I'll let you speak. Go ahead.
First of all, you just don't root your team to lose. You just don't do that. We are in a bad place as Jets fans, and the reason why I say that is when we are rooting to get a first pick of the draft just because he's generational talent, I get it. It's awesome. It's great. But the problem is not that. The problem is our organization. We're not confident in the organization. We're not confident in the general manager, the owners, the coach. That the only way we think we're going to win and get out of the cellar is if we have a Michael Jordan on our team or whatever, generational talent. You get the number one pick. No, I don't care who you have as your quarterback. If you got a good staff on your team, good coaching, good organization, good setup, you will win every single year. That's why. Who want your team to be winless? I don't want that. I don't want the Jets to be, didn't have any wins. That's crazy.
No,
That's crazy.
I get what you're saying, but everything that you want to see, we want to see that too, which is why the win on Sunday, it hurt that process. Bottoming out to get the best head coach in here is what we need. We might still luck into the right coach. I hope we do. But having that number one pick, you can't tell me that's not the best ammunition towards getting the best candidate in the building. And so when you talk about culture, right, we don't want to have a losing culture and root for losses. As fans, what we root for doesn't matter. I'm rooting for losses because I see the value in it. But 6-2 last year down the stretch, what did that do for the culture this year?
First of all, you want the team to win. The players is going to win. The coach is going to win. You want that.
Players, I understand. The players are never going to tank. But from a fan perspective, we see the value in the loss.
How come you didn't put in, Go ahead.
Hold on, man. Listen. The example. We got to move forward. But listen, the examples you used, teams like Pittsburgh, they don't have to tank. They don't have to tank because they have a good organization, a good coach.
That's what I'm saying.
They make their players better. That's the problem. Listen. I understand where you're coming from. That we shouldn't want the team to lose, but losing was better for us than winning. Hey, bro, we appreciate. I move on with. Man, we have a line for the people tonight, bro. Thanks for calling in, bro.
All right. Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Like he had a good point, man. But listen, bro, you can't use a team like Pittsburgh and compare that to what we are right now. It's apples and oranges.
Well, no. Pittsburgh will never have to face the kind of problem that Jet fans have to face because they've had 3 head coaches in the last 35 years.
Exactly.
They're not
a
revolving door with coaches. They're in the playoffs almost every year. They don't face this problem.
To compare the Jets to any other organization in the NFL is a complete joke. And to say this one win that people are proud of can literally take us away from half of the coaches that are available that are looking for jobs right now. Hey, you just took yourself away from a lot of prominent coaches that you know what? I don't want the number 2 pick. I don't want to worry about all these different quarterbacks. I don't want to do this. You just took away options. But thank God we have culture. There ain't no fucking culture by winning this game. You're making your job harder. You're making life harder. Now we got to evaluate other quarterbacks, other coaches. We could be looking at 2nd and 3rd and 4th options, the best options leaving our table. The culture is going to start next year when you start cleaning all this shit up, getting the right coach, building around your quarterback, or having a whole new plan. I'll never understand that take ever. I'll never, ever, ever undertake it. It's not about, I don't understand, people are embarrassed about 0-16. You should be embarrassed that we're 0-13 and Adam Gase is our coach. And then what you'd be more embarrassed is when you're 1-15 and you're going to be the first team in the history of the NFL to not get the number 1 pick. There you go. Are you happy about that? Does that make you feel a little better? Because you got that win? Give me a break.
Nothing is going to be more embarrassing than not making the playoffs for 10 straight years. That's as low as it gets.
Exactly.
10 straight years not making the playoffs, that's as low as it gets. 1-15, 0-16,
this win doesn't do
there's no
shit for
difference
the
in
culture.
that.
There's no culture. You know what the problem is? The other thing is this. Tell me how this win that was featuring Frank fucking Gore is good for the culture next year when he's not even going to be here next year. How many guys made a play this Sunday that aren't going to be here next year? Do you think they're going to feel better about it? They can give a rat's ass. Once the season's over, it's a blank slate. Nothing matters after the season. It doesn't carry over. Nothing translates. You're going to have a whole new coaching staff. Half the roster is going to be new, and nobody's going to have any clue what happened. Nobody's going to give a shit about this game, last game, the next game, nothing. It doesn't matter. The whole goal is get yourself in a position as an organization to be in the best spot possible to get the quarterback that you want, whoever that is, and the coach. And if it's Sam, great. That number 1 pick has a shitload of value. So this win set us back. This win fucked us so bad, it's ridiculous. And the fans that can't see that, Tyrone, I'm guaranteeing you now, the fans that don't see that now, they're going to see this shit in April and May. Oh, fuck, man. I wish we had number 1 pick. No shit, man.
Absolutely.
We're telling you this now in December.
Yep. No, we
all right, that's my rant for tonight. Now I'm going back to bed.
We've been saying since October. Let's go to the next call.
Next up, we got Dan in Howard Beach. Dan, what's up, dude?
What's up, Dan?
What's going on?
I can't wait for this one.
Fellas, listen, what pisses me off more than anything is just piggybacking off of what you guys just ranted about. This must be that these guys that wanted to win, these aren't long-term fans. They haven't been through the thick and thin that we've gone to. These are fans that are wet behind the ears, that have just become fans within the past 5 or 6 years. They're not drinking Kool-Aid. They're drinking fucking Enfamil because they don't even know the long-term ramifications of what occurred on Sunday. Now, let's put Sunday in perspective. Shit, I'm pissed. I'm pissed because I really wanted Trevor Lawrence. But again, there's 2 weeks left. I'm not going to go crazy. Why? Because I've seen Jacksonville play this year. I've seen it. And just like the Jets won against the Rams, Jacksonville has that shit in them too. That out of nowhere, they keep a game close, and they might pull something out right out of the ass. Even this week against the Bears. Yeah, Trubisky's playing good, but you never know. They're playing in Jacksonville. Shit happens. And then the last game of the season, they're playing in They're playing against the Colts. The Colts may not even play all their starters. So shit might happen like that. But again, one thing that occurred this Sunday is that they placed the second, unfortunately, this is unfortunate for the Jets, picking second overall in a perspective of, you know what, let's retool. Let's develop Sam Darnold the way he needed to develop. Build around him a good core, a good coaching staff. Yeah, I get it. The Jets aren't going to have the enormous pick of the bunch of the coaches that they want. But still, they'll still get a good quality coach. Build around the guy. You got a plethora of free agency money. Spend that shit. Don't be cheap fucks. Like, do what you need to do. Pick the right players. You want to move down? Move down to get quality players. Get Penei Sewell. Fortify the fuck out of that offensive line. Do what you need to do to Sam in order to build him. Because if you put Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson with Adam Gase as head coach, we'd be saying the same thing. Tank for Trevor. Tank for Trevor. Because these guys are busts. Like, enough is enough. Like, all right, if we have to cross this bridge right now, not getting Trevor Lawrence, stick with Sam. Don't freaking draft Fields. Don't demote yourself. Like, if you're going to upgrade a quarterback.
Dan, you know what? Dan, you know what's funny? Right now, Zach Wilson is putting on an absolute fucking show, and you got to see the throw he just made was just ridiculous. But dude, this kid's playing some serious football right now.
Tyson, I'm sure, but like, let's keep in mind Darnold got drafted at 20 years old. So right now he's 23. It's like as if he just came out of college, but with 3 years of NFL experience under the shittiest head coach imaginable. You get a good, solid head coach with an actual plan in place, a quarterback coach, something around him. You can rebuild Sam. You can rebuild him. As much as we might see all the negatives and whatnot, but like let's look at the schematics that Gase brings to the table. That playbook is shit. Like, he has 3 wide receivers running the same route out of bounds. Like, it's crazy, and you got a wheel route with the running back. That's all he was. This past game, I mean, the throw to Herndon was, to me, one of the best throws that he threw in 3 years. That's how good of a throw that was. It's in there, but you need a coach to harness that potential and bring it up. And again, I'm not writing off Trevor Lawrence. Not. It's just that now the chips really have to start falling, and it's a tough one. But the same way that the Jets won this past weekend, the Jaguars can win one of the next 2 as well. So you never know, man. You know it might happen.
Dan, great call, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You got it, fellas. Have a great one, and keep up the great work, man.
Thank you, Dan. No, you know what? Listen, I tend to agree with him on a lot of that stuff. I mean, that's one of the reasons that as frustrated as I am. No, yeah, as frustrated as I am, it's not like, the sky's completely falling yet. Until the Jaguars, don't, officially pick first overall, we still have a shot at getting that number 1 overall pick. And then, I still have plenty of faith in Sam Darnold. You could still build that way. It's the more difficult path, but you could still build the team that way. So if we're looking for small victories here.
Anyone we can get right now. But, my whole point is this, man. Like, if you can't get Trevor, man, then you got to trade back, man, and get a boatload of picks, man, and build this whole damn team up, man. Build a fucking wall around. This is the whole problem, man. What we're talking about doing, and this is what people are not understanding. What we're talking about is what should have been done for Sam in the beginning. That was never done. What Joe Douglas said he was going to do last offseason for Sam, he never did.
Yep.
Now he has to, because he doesn't have a choice.
He doesn't have to do anything. He's got to do that for whoever the next quarterback is. It doesn't necessarily have to be Sam. Whoever the quarterback is, they come in here next year, they got to do it for.
But the funny part, Tyson, is, and this is what people don't understand. If we would have took Trevor Lawrence, right, they would have built a line for Trevor Lawrence. They would have got talent for Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole point of it. That's what everybody wanted. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I understand what Greg is saying. Everybody wants the same thing. We all want to win. We want to see this shit get turned around. That's what I'm hoping everybody understands. Like, we're not just being negative. We're giving our honest perspective of how we feel. And when you've been a Jet fan as long as we have, the shit hurts. I'm sorry, it hurts. Sick of losing, man.
Next up, we'll go to Neil in New Jersey. Neil, what is going on?
Hey guys, how you doing? How's everything?
We've been better.
Living the dream. Or a nightmare. But, Kevin, I went back and looked at, I tweeted you guys today. I went and watched that 12-minute clip of Sam in his first year.
Different quarterback, right?
And, yeah, you look at the separation the receivers got during that time. Kurtz was pretty good. Robbie was blowing people away. You had Enunwa. You had Blau Powell coming out of the backfield. Herndon. The play calling. There were, screens that were supposed to go to the wide receivers. Then you get, Herndon peeling off and going down the field wide open, hitting them for touchdowns. He was a totally different quarterback. And with good coaching, everybody says, send them to Pittsburgh or San Fran. These are organizations we want to be, just like them. So if they're going to see the talent in Sam, why can't we see it? Why can't we see the same thing that Pittsburgh or San Fran or Indianapolis would see? And as far as the coach, you don't think these, the top-end coaches realize that he's been coached by the worst offensive mind in the game for the last 2 years that have killed him? And
the worst.
They would do, they would do anything to have if they're going into an organization, to have a quarterback like that, been in the league 3 years, able to, see the defenses and all. I think that, you would get a top coach if you can't, if they don't get Lawrence, but they're still getting a quarterback that's young, 23 years old, that is, I think he still has a lot left, a lot to prove. Yes, he can improve, but if you get the right coach with him, I think, we get that second pick, either build the line or you get that kid from Oregon, and then you go get 2 receivers in free agency to go with Mims and Crowder, and then draft a running back in the second round, either the kid from Clemson or Bama. Then you got weapons for the kid. But think of his receivers during the year. Cager, undrafted. You had guys that shouldn't even be in the league out there with Sam. What does he have to work with? And I think any coach that like Dable from Buffalo, you don't think he's going to want a shot? He's going to want a shot at any job he can get. He's going to be a first-time coach, but he's going to want a job, want to be a head coach. So I think he will come here.
No, bro, listen, you got an excellent point, man. Listen, and that's the whole point of it. We realize that Sam has a lack of talent. But we also realize that this team has a lack of talent. And that's the whole problem. It's getting a good coach to come in. And we understand that the system, a good coach schemes guys open. Gay schemes nobody open. Yeah. You might see 1 or 2 plays where a guy is open. You know what I'm saying? And I think what happened Sunday is Sam actually had time and plays were actually able to develop. But, yeah, you take a kid like the kid from Oregon, and then you go back with the pick from Seattle and grab that center out of Oklahoma. Then
so wait, are we saying?
Let
me understand now. So are we saying Sam has absolutely no flaws and all the things he does wrong is because of the parts around him and the coach?
Not at all.
So he
not at all.
I don't understand. It's everybody. All I keep hearing is how it's a foregone conclusion that you get a new coach and Sam's going to be fine. You build around him, Sam's going to be fine. I honestly don't think that's true. He's got a lot to prove. You bring him back next year, and then how many games into next year do you got to make a decision if he's going to make it or break it? You got to give him a new contract or pick up the option. Then what?
Is he any more of a question mark than Justin Fields or anybody else? That's not Trevor Lawrence.
We're looking at these. You look at these quarterbacks in college now. They're playing great against Central Florida or whatever. The year Sam came out, go look at his game against Penn State in the Rose Bowl. Go look at his game against Ohio State. He got hit 17 times in that game against Ohio State and still threw for 356 yards. Against Ohio State.
I understand the game against Green Bay. I understand the little games here and there. We can cherry pick all the good plays, and then the bad plays we want to ignore because all the things around him. For me, there's fundamental problems with Sam Darnold on and off the field that can be addressed, or maybe they can't be addressed, and that's the question I have. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that you gave him better receivers, a better offensive line, a coach, that he's going to be a quarterback worthy of bringing us to a Super Bowl. I'm not so sure.
I think what he was trying to say, though, I think what he was trying to say,
off the field, dude, I think he's got no fucking confidence right now. He's got no confidence. He doesn't believe himself. He doesn't believe his eyes.
That's coaching.
Hey, but listen,
but
hold on,
Tyrone. It is, but listen. I understand the coaching aspect. The Jets have failed him. Adam Gase has failed him. All this shit has happened. But that has done damage to him where now when he drops back to throw, is he staring at receivers because he knows what the fuck he's doing? And can you deprogram that? Is he taking terrible sacks? Is he making bad throws? Is he making bad reads? Does he know what he's doing? He's got no confidence. He's damaged right now. So the next coach has to fix all that. Now, is it a guarantee that's going to happen? I don't think there's no guarantee. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Everybody wants to build around Sam next year, and we found our quarterback. Let's roll. I don't think it's that easy. I don't think it's that easy.
But if you give him a running
game,
look what Baker has. But look what Baker has. Baker is in his same year, third year as Sam. What does Baker? Look at that running game Baker has. Opens up the play action. Look at that offensive line that's giving him all the time to sit back there and read the plays. Look at his receivers. Look at his tight ends compared to what Sam has to work with. You put Sam behind that offensive line with that running game. Chubb running for 100-something yards a game.
But the problem is we haven't done that. So these guys had the benefit of that, and we haven't done. Now you're going to go into year 4, and you got to hope that everything that he's learned that has been wrong and all this shit, you got to get out of his system as fast as possible. So, okay, now we're gonna revamp you, regroup you, and see what you can do. So how many bad habits
did they do that with Baker? Didn't they do that with Baker?
Listen, I understand, but I have not seen much out of Sam this year that says, you know what, that's a franchise quarterback. So he's got a lot to prove on and off the field for me. That's my personal opinion. I understand all the Sam Darnold fans. I understand the YouTube clips. I understand his game in Green Bay. I understand all that shit. That's us saying that. So now you take a new head coach, his first job, especially a first-time head coach. Does he want to say, you know what, I'm willing to sit here and try to rebuild Sam, or say, you know what, let me get a kid out of college and let's program him in the way I want to program him and not worry about all the damage that Adam Gase did to him.
But then who are we going to get here? What free agents are going to want to come that are top free agents that are going to want to come and play?
Do you think somebody's come here to play with Sam Darnold right now? He's statistically
Juju
one of the worst
Smith would
quarterbacks
come here
in
in a heartbeat. Juju Smith would come because they know who he's coached by. Juju Smith would come here in a heartbeat.
That, dude. I highly doubt that, man.
I think what he was trying to say is you watch Sam growth in the first season, but, when he had competent coaching, well, it really wasn't competent, but better than what he had. But the problem is, right now, what we've seen from Sam in the last year has been a lot of bad decisions, and it's going to be hard to fix that, whether you have talent around him or not.
No, what we've seen is he had a decent, not a great game, a decent game this past weekend, and all of a sudden everybody wants to ignore the Seahawks game and all the shitty games. It's like it's cherry picking. It's cherry picking to fix your agenda. Like, I'm objective. He plays good. But plays like shit. He plays like shit. But
so
he hasn't been
playing well. Hold on. At one point, I understand you don't like Sam Darnold. At one point in that game, he was 17 of 21
I don't like Sam Darnold. I don't like being
on the road
fucking
against a playoff caliber Ram defense with a top 5 defense. That's not a good game.
I don't not like Sam Darnold. It's not about me not liking him. I just don't want to be all of a sudden like he's the savior of this organization when he hasn't proven that anywhere. He hasn't proven it. So against the Seahawks, he was dreadful. It's like, now it's like, he had a decent game. He throws for 200 yards in a decent game. Now he's like, our savior's back. It's like everybody's waiting for a glimmer of hope. Like, you're just praying for it. You're waiting for it. Like fanboys. It's crazy.
But look at the play calling in that game on Sunday. When all year, did you see running backs going out into the flat for quick passes? He was getting that ball out of Sam's hands within less than 2.7 seconds.
And then Neil, how many other games did Sam make the wrong read when receivers are wide open?
I agree.
But then it's like, the receivers are open. He doesn't hit them, but nobody wants to talk about that because you know what? This Sunday he played well. If you don't think he's a flawed quarterback right now, we're just going to agree to disagree. I think he's completely flawed.
He is. But with good coaching, that could change. Josh Allen wasn't good his first year. Baker wasn't good. Was Baker good his first few years?
Dude, Josh Allen's gotten better every year, man.
Question mark.
Huh? But
Josh Allen should be in this conversation.
Josh Allen, his accuracy was the biggest question. And even his first year, he was inaccurate. But he's improved on that. Dable has done a great job with him, puts him in a good position. Puts him in good position, and they built around him. Didn't Sam Darnold get all the credit in the world for working with Jordan Palmer in the offseason, doing all this great work? And Josh Allen also works with Jordan Palmer and improved his accuracy, improved all these things. And they both work with the same guy.
What did Buffalo do? Did Buffalo go out and get Diggs?
But what has happened to Sam Darnold's fundamentals? His footwork, his throwing motion, all those things, they've all regressed.
He's running for his life. He's running for his life back there. What is Allen doing? Allen can sit back there if he wants. He's got an offensive line. They went out and spent the money on the offensive line. Who did we get?
Neil, I understand. Listen, Neil, I understand and I respect what you're saying, but I think there are other. Listen, there's other teams all across the NFL that are dealing with shitty offensive lines, other things, and they're finding ways to throw for more than 100 yards a game. That's just a fact, man.
Because the head coach is an Adam Gase.
Okay,
yeah, I agree.
I know. When in doubt, blame Gase. That's the whole Sam Darnold offense. When you find a flaw, blame Adam Gase because he's the ultimate. He's the ultimate problem. Sam Darnold never gets any blame for anything when he's just not a good quarterback at times.
It's crazy. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But look at Tannehill. Got away from Gase. He killed Miami, and he's killed us. He's killed this whole organization. What quarterback doesn't get to audible at the line except Sam Darnold?
Neil, I always enjoy arguing with you, man. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Have a good night, bro.
Have a good Christmas.
Great call, man.
Merry Christmas.
You too.
All right, take care.
You too, man.
That's funny.
All right, moving along. We got Archie out in L.A. Archie, what's up, man?
Hey, fellas. Probably as shitty as you guys are right now. I'm out in L.A. here. I fucking hate the Rams. They fucked me. They fucked us. McVay, what a joke. I know you guys, I was listening to your live stream. But I'm going to bring the anger first, and I'm going to try to bring a little bit of a calming force. First of all, you guys, Tyrone, you mentioned it. It's sickening that as Jet fans, we have to, the fact that they won that game, I'm as depressed as any Jet game ever, and they won the game. That's just a sad state of affairs, I go way back, like I said, the Mud Bowl with 82 when they lost to the Dolphins with A.J. Due's interceptions. This rates up there in my mind because we blew the chance to get, the golden ticket with Trevor. And I put the blame solely, like I did last week when I called you guys, the blame is on the Johnsons. These guys are complete clowns. They're businessmen, okay? As soon as it was literally impossible for the Jets to make the playoffs, okay? So what was that, when they were 0-10 maybe? They should have canned Gates, right? They should have fired the guy. They should have put in place exactly what, Tyson's been saying this whole time. Put Morgan in there. Go for next season. Can this guy ensure the tank. Make sure you get Trevor, but play the young guys at the same time. They lost out on so much. The Trevor Lawrence jersey sales alone, that these clowns, the money they would have made on this guy, they blew it all just so they could say, we don't fire a head coach in the middle of the season. Just so they could keep that stupid fucking reputation, they blow our chance at Trevor. It's infuriating. And I have to let out my anger, and I'm going to. Now I'm going to get to the calm part of it. I want you guys to chime in on this, okay? This is the thing that people they're not looking at. Now, outside of the Bears game against the Jaguars, which somehow Trubisky, gives us a blessing, and they win that game, the Jags. Outside of that, the game that people that are not talking about that is of utmost importance to Jet fans like us is the national championship semifinal game on January 1st between Ohio State and Clemson. That is going to be, think about it, fellas. If Fields, and listen, I'm a huge Trevor fan, okay? But I went to Syracuse University. I've seen this guy play. I watch a lot of ACC football. The ACC stinks. It's dog shit. It's terrible. Syracuse is terrible this year. I had 2 wins between Syracuse and Jets this year. So, but Trevor Lawrence plays a lot of cupcakes in that division. Okay, Ohio State, the Big Ten is for real. That's some serious competition, okay? If Justin Fields can outplay Trevor Lawrence in that game, listen, hear me out.
He's not getting picked first overall.
No. I agree with you. Okay. I'm not saying that. I'm not that delusional. Okay. I'm not that delusional. But what I'm saying is the trade value for Justin Fields will rise tremendously. We all know this is like, what have you done for me lately, league, right? If people see that on the national stage that Justin Fields, holy shit, this guy could hold his own. All of a sudden, that number 2 pick, we now have some draft capital, which I agree with you guys. We've lost so much of that. At losing that number 1 slot, you lose so much of that draft capital. The head coach doesn't want to come here anymore. But if you could elevate that, Fields can elevate it and put his name at least in the same conversation. I don't know if you heard Trent Dilfer yesterday. I heard a podcast where he was basically saying that Justin Fields, his mechanics are right on par with Trevor Lawrence. So as long as that conversation's still happening, value for that pick. So then we can make these choices, whether, maybe we could go down a couple of slots, still pick up hopefully like with the number 3 or 4 pick, get our O-lineman that we want, but get more draft picks, get more stock, and really that to me is how we have to go. And if you look at the numbers, I'm just telling you, fellas, if you look at the numbers between Fields and Trevor Lawrence, and now I don't watch as much tape as these guys. I watch a lot of Trevor Lawrence. He's up and down. I know he's, everyone's got him pegged as the Messiah, but if you watch these guys play, it's not as huge as you think it is. And I'm curious. I mean, have you guys really looked at Justin Fields? Have you seen any of his, any of his games, any of his tape, or are you just kind of going off of what kind of the consensus is going on?
No, I watched him play Saturday, and I wasn't impressed. I mean, to me, Trevor Lawrence is top of the line for me. But like I do understand what you're saying. If he has a good game, his stock will go up. That pick, that value goes up. But for me, I never wanted the second pick. I never thought about having the second pick. Right. That's how bad that was for me. But the biggest thing for us is also hiring a coach. Getting a solid team and building our roster up. So I don't know if a coach want to come here, somebody that we really want with the second pick of the draft, because they already understand how difficult it's going to be. Not having that piece at quarterback changes everything. Changes the whole dramatic of what we're trying to do. So it scares me.
No, I agree. And again, to go back to
I was just going to say real quick, I've only seen a couple games from Fields. I haven't really dived into the film really on any of these college prospects yet. But, just from what I've heard from most analysts, it seems like he's going to take – yeah, exactly. It seems like, he has a little bit more, work to be done. He's got some fine-tuning, as far as mechanically goes. I think there is a bit of a gap between him and Lawrence in that regard, as well as just, physical ability. Natural ability, I think there's a big gap between both of them. But I do agree with what you're saying, though, as far as, this game coming up, with him and Clemson. We have to be huge Justin Fields fans because we want that number 2 pick to be worth as much as it possibly can. I still think we want to make the head coaching search as attractive as possible. So if there's 2 candidates there that, are perennial can't miss guys, that makes that that process go a little bit better, I think. So.
Yeah, and again, look, Fields, just again, I've seen him play. He's an excellent quarterback. Last week, Tyrone, he was missing his best players. Like a ton of the guys in the team had COVID and the top receivers and stuff, so he's definitely out of sync because of that. Again, you look at his numbers last year, the guy had 41 touchdowns and 3 picks for the season. I mean, the guy is a stud. I'm not saying that I even want the Jets to pick him. I'm just saying the value and figuring it out. I'm still I'm like you, Prime Time. I'm torn between trying to stick with Sam, give him another shot if we're stuck. Trevor Lawrence was a no-brainer. We all know that. But I'm just trying to look at some, bit of the silver lining here. And again, I bring it back to the Johnsons. How can you do that? How can how can you put your team in a position to lose out on this? Because Gase wants to win. You knew it all along. So all these clowns, all these writers, in the press, you guys always, totally shit on anyway, and I completely agree with you. It's like, how are you putting yourself, if you have Gase, you're in the best position to lose. No, you're not in the best position to lose because the guy's doing everything in his power to win. Even though he's a terrible coach, he's still trying to pull out all the stops to win the game. Whereas if you had something in place, we have an interim coach where it's made known, look, this is all about evaluating players. We're about getting out there, putting up a competitive fight, but in the long run, we're not winning these games. That's an understanding that should have been made by the Johnsons, and they blew it big time.
Absolutely, bro. Hey, man, thanks for calling, bro. We appreciate you, man. You have a good night, all right?
Thank you. Thank you. Man. Appreciate it. All right. Bye.
Out of the point.
Yeah, no, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. All right, phone line's still packed. Next up, we got Jay out in New Jersey. Jay, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Jay?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Hanging in there, man.
Living the life. Jet fan.
All right. Well,
absolutely. How you feeling?
All right. Well, let me first start, with what the previous caller was saying. I mean, this year, the Big Ten, was awful. I mean, really, Indiana was, in my opinion, the second-best team in the Big Ten. And Justin Fields played Indiana. He did not look good at all. I mean, he had 3 interceptions. He was forcing balls across his body. He wasn't reading the defense well, and that's because Indiana disguises their coverages really well. And that's what Justin Fields is going to see at the NFL level. So I'm not sold on Justin Fields' ability to read defenses, and it's only going to get tougher in the NFL. It really comes down, in my opinion, to 2 key decisions for Joe Douglas. That's going to determine his legacy in New York and as a GM. The first being the head coaching search. Obviously, I think with the number 2 pick, the top-tier candidates go out the window because the number 1 priority for them is going to be working in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. So that right there scares me. The number 2 decision is whether you pick Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, one of the other quarterbacks, or Sam Darnold. And that decision is one I think is really hard to trust Jets management on because we keep going back to what Sam Darnold's untapped potential is. And the problem with that is, how do we quantify that? How do we compare what Sam Darnold's untapped potential is to what Justin Fields can do, what Zach Wilson can do? I think it's fairly easy to compare quarterbacks in the same draft class, but how do you compare someone who's been in the league for 3 years to quarterbacks that are in the draft? And that is what worries me because my gut is telling me we should stay with Sam Darnold and build around him. But if you do get the right pieces and the right coach and Sam Darnold doesn't play well, you win 5-6 games, what do you do then? If you pick up his option, you're spending $20 million on Sam Darnold. And what that does is you have the cap space to take that contract, but you could have had a rookie quarterback with significantly less money. You could have had Justin Fields the year before. You could have had Zach Wilson the year before. And if those quarterbacks are playing better than Sam Darnold in their first year, it's another cycle. It's another 3-4 year rebuild, and we're right back at square one. So I think us fans need to kind of temper our judgment on Sam Darnold because I think a lot of Jet fans are just assuming that Sam Darnold is going to be excellent with a great supporting cast. And what I know, what I've seen on tape, what I've seen during the games is Sam Darnold is not capable of elevating mediocrity. He's just not capable of elevating average players, which is fine. But can Justin Fields do that? Can Zach Wilson do that? And that's the risk-reward that I think Joe Douglas is going to have to make.
Hey, man, great point. I mean, I think that, that's exactly what, we've been saying all night. I mean, it's that the next decision, that was made for us by winning is probably going to be one of the hardest decisions that determines where we're going to be at for the next 10 years. When you had the first pick of the draft, you knew Trevor Lawrence, you knew you had a real good chance. Now, we don't know. And that's the scary part about it because trusting this team, trusting this organization to make the right decision has been something they haven't done before. They don't make a habit of doing that. So that's scary. And, not knowing what this guy's going to be. But I think if anything, you stay with – if they do decide to stay with Sam, you have 2 years. And at that point, you better have a plan after Sam. or you take one of these young guys. You better have a plan to build around these guys. I mean, it's just what it is, man. And that's the whole point of it, because you can't keep having the same situation. I mean, at least build one part of the team up. But I think if I was a head coach, I don't know if I want to come to the Jets without having a for sure piece.
Exactly.
The quarterback is the most important piece of the team. And coming in and not knowing who you're going to have as quarterback, that's not a job I would take. I don't know,
Well, that's also part of the thing, though. I feel like this should be less about Joe Douglas and more about the new head coach determining who he wants to work with, who's going to run his offense, who the best fit is. If he sees that as Sam Darnold, plus whatever the extra compensation is they can get from trading down, if he thinks that's the best path, best team, best quarterback, all right, cool, we roll with that. If the new head coach thinks he can work with Justin Fields and that's the best ticket to building a championship, all right, cool, you work with that. Bring in a coach that's going to be on the same page with your GM, and you roll with whatever quarterback he wants to work with.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with that. But what if they mess up the coaching hire? Then that's a whole other the wrong quarterback. Then you're done.
Look, we haven't done that before. So
And one more thing real quickly I want to say is Jet fans need to stop gloating Joe Douglas. I've seen a lot on Twitter about, keep the faith in Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas is going to turn this around. What has he proven? I mean, I just see two picks, Mekhi Becton and Denzel Mims. And let's be honest, anyone could have picked Mekhi Becton. I don't think that was a hard evaluation. That was a hard choice. I mean, he was the only left tackle left on the board. And I do give him credit for moving down in the second round and getting Denzel Mims. But what has his draft class done? I mean, he drafted James Morgan at way too high. I mean, James Morgan doesn't even seem to be like a third stringer in the league right now. Cameron Clark has been inactive for 14 weeks. Jabari Zuniga, I mean, he's invisible. And then who are the other? Ashton Davis, he was getting burnt. He was burnt toast until he got hurt. So I don't know where Jet fans are coming up with, Joe Douglas figured out, has built a young core here. I don't know anything about Pirine because we hand the ball off to Gore 30 times a game. I mean, there's issues everywhere in the draft class. It's not a short thing. It's not an A grade. And the free agency class is even worse. Who's going to be around from the free agency class? Connor McGovern? I mean, Connor McGovern's short because we gave him a 3-year contract. Doesn't mean he's good. Same with George Fant. His free agency class is awful. And now you're telling me we have $80 million in cap space. We're going to get the second option at quarterback or keep Sam Darnold. And you're going to want to bring in Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay, Juju Smith. Why would they come here? Why would they come here to play with Sam Darnold or Justin Fields? I mean, they're going to get comparable money from Jacksonville. Jacksonville has cap space. They can go play down there with Trevor Lawrence. So there's a lot of issues here. I think you just took away some of the top options in the free agent class. I mean, I'm really worried because I don't think this is an attractive destination at all.
Hey, great call, bro. Absolutely.
Jay, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good night.
All right, so I think prime time. I think we've reached a time where.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. I'm ready. I've had my smoothie. I'm wide awake now.
Now
let's bring on.
Well, before we do that, can I play the parting shot that he gave to Tyrone on the Gangrene David show?
Sure.
Oh.
I wish I was actually able to play the audio, but I'll actually give you the quote. He said that you, Tyson, have turned Tyrone into a zombie. So I'll let him explain that quote. I wish I was able to play the audio, but I'll let him explain that quote. So, Steve, how are you doing, man?
It doesn't matter how you're doing. It doesn't matter how you're doing.
Hey, guys.
Not nice,
Hey, guys.
What's up, man?
Good evening. How are you? First off, before we get into the talk of happy belated birthday, Tyson.
Before we get into the talk, Steve, please explain your comment. How am I a zombie?
Okay, so I'm going to explain this very clearly because you've walked in Tyson's footsteps, Tyrone. You do the same thing like Tyson does every week, whether it's me or it's ever people that call on this show. You interrupt people without having people finish any sentence at all. I've seen you do
that's
it
the opposite of a zombie, though.
Know your
the
damn
show.
role and shut your damn mouth.
This is going to be
Oh,
Where's
I'm
Steve?
damn wrong. Oh, I listen to the show. Trust me.
Hey,
That's
Steve,
the
can I
opposite
ask
of
you
a
a
zombie,
question,
though.
Steve, can I ask you a question, Steve? Steve, can I ask you a question?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, my question is this, Steve. I know you go on other shows and they make you feel special and shit, but that makes you feel good. But what about when you come on the show and you regurgitate shit you got from other people? When the fuck are you going to make your own comments and think for your own self? So I don't have a problem saying anything to anybody, but if you're going to get on the phone, Steve, and drag out one comment for 17 fucking minutes, I don't know what to tell you, pimp.
Hey, listen, man. It's just listen. I mean, that's the thing of what you're doing now. I mean, you followed it. You followed in Tyson's footsteps. That's what you've done.
Hey, Steve, so you go on the Gang Greene show or you go on CJ show, and now all of a sudden you're an expert, huh? So let me ask you a question.
I'm not an expert.
I know you're not an expert.
You guys, I'm just a fan.
We're fans.
Hold on.
When have you ever said? No. When have you ever heard us say we're anything other than fans, Steve? When have you ever heard that? You go on a few shows.
I've heard it through. I've heard it through many episodes, dude. Listen, before you became a co-host of this show, and when you used to have the other guy on the show,
I called every week.
Tyrone, listen. No, Tyrone, you listen.
Joe.
Listen
I'm
to
not
me.
Joe. I'm not going to save you when you waffle and you say bullshit every week. I'm not doing that shit. Sorry. Joe ain't here no more.
Hey, listen, I'm not saying you bullshitting.
Ain't nobody going to hold your hand, Steve. If you're going to call the show and you're going to come up here with some bullshit and then go to another show, take a shot, and then come back with some bullshit, and you think you're not going to get them fired? Bruh, please. Joe carried you, Steve. Joe saves you every week. He babysitted your ass. Ain't nobody over here on this new format going to hold your hand, sweetheart. We don't do that around here. I'll give you a hug. We charge for hugs over this motherfucker.
Don't give me a fucking break.
We're giving you wings and setting you free.
Absolutely.
Give me a fucking break.
We charge for hugs around here, Steve.
Wait, so Tyrone, hold on. Let's get to the
I
important stuff.
I want to hear Tyson fight with Steve now.
No, because what Steve does is he talks shit about all of us and all these other podcasts that none of us listen to, so we don't really care. And then what he does, he fires out on Monday morning, Tyrone, just prepare for this. Happy Victory Monday.
Oh, God.
Happy Victory Monday. So our boy Steve, so Steve, you were celebrating this victory on Monday morning.
Hey, listen. I got my wish. Listen. Here's the thing. It's as of right now. Listen, yes, we lost the number one pick. I knew Jet fans were going to be pissed. Listen, after the game on Sunday, listen, I didn't know how to react.
I'm listening. Just say what your point is. God damn.
I was completely shocked that we won. Like
happy or sad?
You were happy.
Not shocked. Happy or sad?
You're
happy.
No, listen to me. I was 85% shocked. I was 85% shocked, and the other 15% I didn't know how to feel. Okay.
So you were
135% full of emotion.
Talk, please. Can
so
I
you
get
shocked
a chance
and lost
before you guys say anything?
All right, go ahead.
No. Let me get a chance to talk. Because listen,
why?
I gotta be honest. I don't know what the hell happened with the Rams on Sunday. I expected us to get our ass kicked on Sunday. Okay, I predicted that we were going to lose. No. 30-7.
So what was so happy about the victory, Steve? How did that make us better, Steve? How did we get better?
Yep. Happy Victory Monday.
Okay, hang on. Let me just say this. Listen, it's just the thing was what happened from the game Sunday. Listen,
No, Steve, I don't need your game recap. I want to know. Tyron, hold on. Steve, I don't care. I don't need a game recap. We all watched it. What happened? I want to know your mindset when you said, you know what? I'm going to tweet out Happy Victory Monday. Like, you are happy the Jets won their first game. You feel justified and vindicated. You are happy about this. Now, I want to know. I want you to explain your mindset to me, please. You have the floor.
Okay. All right. Here was the thing. We didn't have kind of a feel since the last year when we won, okay? And you know something? It was like, oh, okay, because it's usually a dish I usually do one after one. Now, you had my quick. I was going to get roasted.
This could be his best call ever.
Huh? What?
This could be his best call ever. We can't hear him.
It's going to get roasted. and as soon as when I saw the actual Jet Radio comment, I knew it was But now, because here is the thing, though. Here is the thing I'm going to say is, here's the thing. We end up with the second pick of the draft. Can I
and you're happy.
Talk first, please? Can I? Yeah, okay, fine. Can I talk now, please?
You've been talking for 5 minutes and not made 1 point yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk, but you keep on fucking interrupting.
Well, because you're not making any sense to us. We ask you a question, you can't answer it. What was your mindset behind posting Happy Victory Monday? It's a simple question.
I was glad, okay? Can we get
Why?
now? Can we please move on to the next part? Thank you.
No. Well, first of all, this is our show, not yours. Tell us why you were happy.
Okay, I was happy that we finally won. Listen to me. I didn't want to be one of those fans to watch a team go 0-16. Going 0-16 is like one of the worst nightmares ever that you got to go through.
No, you know what the worst nightmare ever is, Steve? You know what the worst nightmare ever is? The worst nightmare ever is not having the best chance to get the best quarterback available, not having the best chance to get the best coach available. The two most important spots on your fucking team.
Okay, but
the most important, the most marketable aspect of this. There is no thing. There is no positive in the winning the game.
1 second. Tyson, can you hang on just 1 fucking second? Okay? Hang on one fucking second. Because let me explain to you something. We could
3 seconds
still
now.
get the number 1 pick if we lose this Sunday to Cleveland and it beats Chicago. Listen, at 1 o'clock, I was rooting for Jacksonville to win against Baltimore last Sunday. Now, I knew they weren't going to win, but I rooted for them to win. I want to see Jacksonville win a game. And here's the thing. I said this on Saturday on Twitter in case if you didn't read it. I watched that ACC championship game against Notre Dame. And let me tell you, if the Jets end up getting the number 1 pick, you can't say no to Trevor Lawrence, and you got to move on.
Nobody's
from
saying
but
you celebrated losing your chance at Trevor Lawrence. Genius.
Okay, fine. Maybe I fucked up. Okay.
Okay, fine.
The room is quiet. Finally, the truth comes out.
And shut your damn mouth.
Next caller. Mark in Dallas, what's up?
Mark
in Dallas, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Mark?
How you guys doing? How you doing, Mark?
So, yeah, I'm good. So, I don't know how to feel about this, honestly, because, honestly, I agree with you guys. I wanted the Jets to lose. I'm not trying to be, a bad fan, but, if we wanted to have any future in our organization to look forward to, I mean, I can't believe I, kind of fucked this.
Don't let anybody tell you are a bad fan for caring about the future.
Fan. Yes, sir. You're a great fan, bro. Every real fan wanted us to lose, bro. I'm sorry. Everyone on this show wanted us to lose.
Oh, yeah. And then people at the bar, we were watching the game. They were, a couple of them were like, yeah, we're happy we won. Okay, cool. If you, now what do we have to look forward to? I mean, honestly, our only hope for the Jags is that Week 17 when they play the Colts is that they just rest everybody.
Yeah, that or just raise an egg next week. I mean, the Jags have been competitive in a lot of games this year. I mean, they went toe-to-toe with the Packers. I think they had a lead in the fourth quarter in that game. So, I mean, they've been competitive. They got Minshew back.
Minnesota.
I'm not expecting them to win, but It wouldn't shock me if they pulled one out.
Hey, and don't feel bad, bro. Don't feel bad at all, man, because everybody on this show and damn near every caller that called in, with the exception of 2, wanted us to lose, bro. Like, we realized what's at stake. We realized what was important. And all that, if Jacksonville loses, man, I mean, you can't count on that. We had the ball. We had the golden goose in our hand. So now that we have to rebuild and rethink and retool and redo, that's the problem. That's the issue. So I'm sorry. You don't feel that way, bro, because I don't feel bad at all. And I love this team.
I mean, hey, if we don't get Lawrence, honestly, my dream scenario would be trading back a couple picks and drafting Sewell, the offensive lineman. I mean, if we're going to stick with Sam, we got to keep him protected. Having two beast tackles, one at either side. I mean, you got to protect him, bro.
No, and we saw, even with an average quarterback, when we had a dominant offensive line with Mark Sanchez, and even some of those years, with Pennington, like just having a decent to good quarterback, you can be in the playoff hunt every single year. So imagine if, Darnold develops into a franchise quarterback, or we take a Justin Fields and he's the next franchise quarterback, and we're actually able to build up that offensive line. I still think they have some options to build up this team.
But the only
They're just taking the more difficult path now.
I totally agree with you, but the only thing about when we had Sanchez and when we had Pennington, at least they had decent wide receiver options around them. I mean, Sam.
Maybe Crowder on the start. If Crowder stays, they might not want to keep that contract beyond next year. But yeah, I mean, they still have plenty of cap space. There's a number of free agent wideouts that we've been talking about between Galladay, Allen Robinson. I think Godwin could be available. Juju Smith, and then you could still draft another 1 or 2. You got plenty. You got 3 picks within the first 35. So they're going to be set up nice to address the offense if they prioritize it this year.
I would go after. I'm obviously, like, my number one choice. I want for us is Robinson. But I mean, if we can't get him, I mean, maybe I'm only saying this because maybe Juju. But the only reason why I would say Juju is because of Sam and Juju's connection at USC when they were there together. That's the only thing I can.
Juju got the snot knocked out of his ass last night, though, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he got that dancing on his logo.
Knocked out of him, bro. Yeah, you gonna stop doing that shit, I promise you, bro, one way or another. But listen, if you look at every good team, even when we had Mark Sanchez, what did every good team right now have? They have a good offensive line, they have a good running game. That's how you help a quarterback out. That's the one issue that we haven't had. That's the one thing we've been lacking since we've been able to move forward. If you have a good offensive line and a good running game, you can help any quarterback out, man.
That's why Baker's doing so well.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Baker, San Diego, the kids in San Diego. I mean, all of these young quarterbacks, Baltimore, all these young quarterbacks have a good running game, a good offensive line. Then, that draws off, man. Sam hasn't been given that, but he's made bad decisions himself. So, the scariest part about not having the first pick.
Sam made a couple of really smart decisions during that game on Sunday, but it also, like, Sam is he's showed this season he's really, really inconsistent. I don't know how you go from a game where, like, for example, the Broncos game where you almost win and you put up 28 points to, like, a couple weeks later or, like, the week after where you don't even put up, like, barely 3. So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. That's what's so scary. Absolutely, because he's inconsistent and not having that. You can't blame that all solely on the coach because he's the guy with the ball in his hand. And, the Seattle game, it's been a lot of games this season where Sam just looked really bad. And he made a lot of bad decisions, throwing the ball in the triple coverage. Receivers are not a bad decision is on the quarterback, not on the coach.
Exactly. Totally agree with you.
It's going to be, bro, it's going to be a...
For whatever reason, it seems like defending Sam gets misinterpreted as, like we make excuses for everything he does wrong. Like I acknowledge he makes some mistakes. He's looked like a rookie at times this year. He's looked even worse than that at times this year. But I don't think there's any situation you can point to as far as any draft pick within the last 10 years that's been thrown into a worse environment. Offensive line, weapons, head coach, all those things. And even if you want to throw offensive coordinator in there, starting with Jeremy Bates, and even towards the end of that year, he was making some progress. But then you give him Loggins and Gase, you take away his best weapon in Robbie Anderson. They've failed everything around him. So of course, when he's inconsistent, when he's losing his confidence, when he's making those rookie mistakes, of course, what are you doing to help him?
I totally agree with you, and that's why I'm saying if we can re-sign Crowder for cheap, I mean, go for it, because I mean the connection he has with Sam right now is like almost.
Crowder's got to stay healthy though.
Yeah, he does, because he's been injured like, 2, 3, 4 times this year?
Yep.
That's been the whole issue.
Mark, good call, man.
Yep.
Hey, have a good night, bro. Thanks for calling.
Yep, have a good night, man. Appreciate talking to you. All right, next up, we got Mike in Jersey City. Mike, what's up, dude?
What's up, guys? I'm gonna need the floor here so I can make
all yours.
Right, please. All right, I'm going to start you guys off with a question. It's going to be about which QB would you take? Okay. Quarterback A, 69.2% completion, 2753 yards, 22 TDs, 4 interceptions, and 172.7 rating. Quarterback B, a 69.7 completion percentage, 4125 yards, 43 TDs, 5 interceptions, and a 186.7 rating. What QB are you guys taking?
B.
B?
I mean, by the numbers, B, but I feel like I need a lot more information.
Like
yes,
what?
sir.
What do you need?
Yeah, I mean, the level of competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you completion and attempts. Okay, here we go. So you got for quarterback A, okay, you have quarterback A, completions, 198, attempts 286. Quarterback B, completions, 285, attempts 409. Who are you taking?
Yeah, but who are they playing, though?
What?
Like, what is the team? Who are they playing against? Like, who are the two quarterbacks you're trying to compare?
Okay, off these stats, who are you taking? And then I will tell you.
The second one, by the numbers.
Right, okay. So the second one is Kyle Trask, 2020 season. The first guy, quarterback A, is Trevor Lawrence. Now, this is not me trying to have the argument of that Kyle Trask is the better quarterback. But my point is what I'm about to make is I was with Steve. I haven't been so excited in my fandom of this team for that win on Sunday. Okay?
Can I just really quickly, on the point with Trask, just really quick. College numbers mean almost next to nothing because you've had guys that have won Heisman trophies that have gone like undrafted or, seventh round picks, like quarterbacks that are just in the right system, right offense, great team. They're going to put up those numbers, but they might not be NFL caliber. And I'm not saying that about Trask. I think he's going to be a first-round pick. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but he's still nowhere near, I think, the sure thing that Trevor Lawrence is.
Okay, sure thing based off of what everyone's going to assume he's going to do at the Combine or his protege or what? Did anyone predict that Joe Burrow was going to blow out his fucking knee in year one? Did anyone think Trent Dilfer was going to have a fucking Super Bowl? That Brad Johnson was going to have a fucking Super Bowl? That Nick Foles was going to have a Super Bowl?
Wait, I don't understand the premise here. What are you talking? Joe Burrow. Wait. Joe Burrow was won a Heisman. Was like a next level quarterback. Went to Cincinnati. Was playing great this year. So the injury's unfortunate. Yeah, that can happen to any player. So I don't understand why.
And so I'm trying to prove that there's so many variables. There's so many variables of what could go wrong, and we're Jets fans, and I'm just shocked that nobody understands that if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Okay?
So what about the argument, though, that still it's more about the head coach than it is about Trevor Lawrence?
Okay, so there I agree. So if losing out because we don't get that top-tier head coach, okay, I agree. But you would have to, suck my soul out of my body for me to honestly say with a straight face that I would have rather the Jets go 0-16 to get Trevor Lawrence or go 1-15 and not get him. I'm sorry. I We already have the butt fumble label. We did not need the 0-16 label. I never wanted to be with the Lions or Browns.
Who gives a shit about labels?
Now we're gonna have the 1-15 label as the only team not to get the number 1 overall pick.
Okay.
And miss out on possibly a generational talent.
Let me ask you a question though. Would you rather have a top tier coach?
Did you know that the Patriots went 1-15 in 1990 with Rod Russ? I bet if you ask any Patriot fan that was born after 1990, they don't have a fucking clue about that. Okay, 1-15 and 0-16 are worlds apart. Worlds apart.
Yeah,
not for the Jets.
Would you rather have a top tier coach? Would you rather have a top tier coach or a second tier coach?
Now here's to my other point. Hear me out. Okay, I'm looking at the glass half full here. Okay, half full. Okay.
Dude, that glass is full of vodka.
Or should we have not won that game? We should have won that game. Denver, we should have won that game. Patriots, we should have won that game. Raiders, we should have won that game, and we won on Sunday. That's 5 wins. Okay? What if we won all those games? We have 5 wins, a shitty draft position, okay, and most likely retain Adam Gase. Then what? Now we have the second pick, and why not draft Sewell?
But wait, why justify making the mistake? The obvious answer is the number 1 pick is the fastest way to make your team better. You get the coach, you either get the player, or you get a shitload of draft picks. Who cares about a fucking label? We're the New York Jets. We haven't made the playoffs in 10 fucking years. You know how you change your label? You start winning. You know how you win? You get a fucking great coach, and you get a good quarterback. And that's what happens at 0-16.
So with the Kyle Trask, okay, what's wrong with Kyle Trask? Why is everyone jumping on this Wilson kid who played for fucking BYU?
You know what's wrong with Kyle Trask? I'll tell you what's wrong with Kyle Trask. He's not fucking Trevor Lawrence. I want the best prospect. That's who I want. The best prospect available. I want the best coach available. I don't want plan B, C, D, and E. I don't want some, maybe, could have, should have. Maybe if a fucking unicorn jumps out, he's a better player. I want the consensus best player available. That's the best chance of getting better as fast as possible. That's it.
According to people who have missed more than hit on picks, why wasn't Patrick? If Patrick Mahomes he's so good right now, he's amazing, right? You got the Bears fucking taking Trubisky over him, okay? Like this is what I'm trying to tell you here, okay? You go.
When was the last time there was a consensus like there is right now with Trevor Lawrence? This is an overwhelming consensus. Gil Brandt just said out just now. Gil Brandt, a ridiculously great personnel mind. It's Trevor Lawrence 3 levels down from everybody else.
That Trevor Lawrence is going to end up being better than Patrick Mahomes. You're going to say that right now, right here.
No, I'm saying right now, Trevor Lawrence right now is the best quarterback available for the Jets, and that's the guy I want. That's what I'm saying. And this loss that you're celebrating, or this win that we're celebrating, or you're celebrating, took us away from that. So now we got to go to your plan B. I, for once, want to be plan fucking A. I want the best for once with his team.
And it took
the best coach, the best quarterback.
If you were rooting for 0-16, then you don't deserve to root for a fucking team in any sport across the board.
Well, because you're going to celebrate 1-15. What did it do for you? You know what, Mike? You're going to be the same guy. You're going to be the same guy come draft time. You're going to be the same guy come draft time. Like, I wish we can get this. I wish we can get that. And like, you know what, Mike? Remember December 22nd when you called in and you were celebrating that meaningless fucking win? Well, that's what it is. It's meaningless.
My God. So
it serves no purpose.
So you're gonna cry your eyes out if the Jets are gonna win, but Jaguars are gonna win with Trevor Lawrence. You're gonna sit back and say, I still would have rather had Trevor Lawrence. No, who cares?
You're gonna sit here and try. You're gonna sit here. You're gonna sit. You assume that your Trask is gonna be the quarterback of the future. You're gonna really double down on that.
Trevor Lawrence is going to be a good quarterback too, just because everybody has the same consensus. There's so many variables.
It's called the law of averages. So it's the law of averages. Do you want the consensus best guy? Do you want that?
And you're literally assuming that I didn't want him either. But I'm just telling you that I didn't want 0-16 at the expense of him. Of course I wanted
Because what? Because it hurts your feelings? Because, your team's going to be labeled a loser? Guess what? They are fucking losers. They're not going to playoffs. They're a laughing stock. 1-15, 0-16. They're a laughing stock.
That Trevor Lawrence
so you feel better about it?
culture around.
1-15 makes you feel good.
Johnson.
You're proud of that?
It's Johnson.
Give me a break.
It's if any
1-15 makes you feel good. That's a loser mindset itself.
I get rid of the Johnsons.
1-15. If you're happy about 1-15, that's a loser mindset, dude. If you think that's good and makes you feel better, then I can't really help you.
Okay, so all the Jets fans who were going after Simone Becton because they didn't want to
idiots.
Want him to celebrate a 1 win? Come on. This franchise has started your expectations so low because it's a losing mindset that you want to go.
No, it's called you don't as a player that's been here for a fucking
win.
No. Dude, a player that's been here 5 months taking shots at fans is ridiculous.
Dude,
first of all,
hear yourself. You're getting mad at me for my team winning.
No. I'm getting mad at you celebrating a 1-15 season. You're celebrating that like you're proud of it. Like you're going to walk around like with a banner. You know what, Mike? I'll make you a poster. I'll mail it to you. Jets, 1-15. Go team, go. I'll mail it to you, dude. I'll buy you one. I'll mail it to you.
Then
be proud of it.
To every Patriot fan, too. Then mail one to every Patriot fan, too.
If you can't understand how 0-16 helps you, I can't help you, dude. You know what? It's just crazy. Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
It's a difference of opinion. You're going to sit here and bitch about, we didn't get Trevor Lawrence. When at the matter of the fact is, we still have the second overall pick and potentially can get Trevor.
You know what? If you're happy with second best, that's good for you. If you like settling, good for you, dude. I don't like to settle. I have a higher standard, I guess. You like settling. It's cool, dude. You like to settle. If you like second best and you like to be that guy, then that's cool, dude.
That's good. Just because they don't get a player, you're thinking the Jets are never going to win again?
Because you like to get second best and you want to settle, and this is why we are the Jets. Then that's probably why you like 1-15. Have a good night, man. Next up, Jake Klein. What's up, man? I don't give a fuck, dude. What's up, Jake Klein?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good luck, man.
Guys, I'm giving you a golfer's clap for handling those 2 calls. Oh my God, I'm like pulling my hair out. Jesus Christ! Oh my God. Well, Tyson, obviously happy belated. You know, I'm just not what you wanted to get, not what I wanted to get. I had to buy donuts for my office thing because I was in such a horrible mood yesterday. So that shows you how I felt.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right. First off, Tyrone, I'm not going to get into an argument about Fields tonight. I'm going to hold reservation on that talk for later. For now. I still love Fields. I'm not going to end that. But first off, I'm going to say this. I'll be a better caller than caller Steve ever again. So you can put that on record right now. I don't know. I can top anything this guy will say, but that's the first.
It wouldn't take much.
Yeah, no shit, obviously. But look, you know what, Tyson, you nailed the argument about Darnold perfectly. Primetime, I know you love Darnold. You know, look, part of me still likes Darnold for all he is, but Darnold, we cannot cherry pick his game anymore. We cannot do this anymore. Let me put it this way, personally. You know what? In the little things I noticed that they've said after the game about Sam Darnold is, he, got that ball out quick. He kind of, hear these words, dinged it out to the left, got it out to the right side. Doesn't that remind me of a quarterback? Oh, that's right, a game-managing quarterback like an Alex Smith, like Chad Pennington after a torn rotator cuff. Let me ask you this. Is there any Super Bowl winning quarterbacks that were game managers? Game managers, the guy that was okay, dinking the ball to the left and the right?
Trent Dilfer. Hey, listen. Hey, somebody brought him up. Trent Dilfer,
hold on, just really quick. If his primary read on a play is a 3-yard out, what's he not supposed to look at it? Does he have the ability to audible? No, he doesn't. He's going to execute the offense that Gase is calling. So calling him a dink-and-dunk quarterback, I think it was just more of a reflection on the offense that he's running. I don't think that's the style of quarterback that he ever was, not even at USC. He turned the ball over a little bit at USC because he was more of a gunslinger.
You're right. I'm not going to yell and scream tonight. You're right about that too. That's why I blame Gase for those reasons. But let's not forget, guys. I think you've said this on the calls, and we've all said that after watching that Jets-Miami game. Darnold makes so many plays that you're just scratching your head in year 3. These are calls that I called out for Eli Manning in year 11, 12, 13, how many years he's played in the league. Thank God for Eli Manning winning those Super Bowls. A lot of people would have kicked these kind of quarterbacks out of town instantly. We're at that point now consistently after the last, since Thanksgiving, we were done with Darnold. Like, we knew why we're pushing hard for Trevor Lawrence more than anything. Trevor Lawrence is the easiest out because guess what? He is the best prospect since Luck. And I heard some other arguments the other night about, Luck didn't have the offensive line. You know what? Andrew Luck went to the playoffs in his first year with the worst fucking roster ever. That shows you how much a quarterback like that elevates the team. Like Trevor Lawrence coming next year, even if we had, Rich Kotite little twin son coming out and coaching the team, he'd probably win 5-6 games off the bat. But then you give him like a Coach Cowher with a good staff, or maybe Matt Campbell, coaches that we think we probably will lose out on in 2 weeks because it's not officially over yet. We haven't lost them yet. We will lose out on those coaches 100%. And I don't want to settle with, Greg Roman, who did okay with Lamar Jackson this year, but now we don't know what he's going to be like, or we're going to get whoever the secondary, or Jim Harbaugh because the Johnsons think will get. I don't want to settle for second best. Tyson, you nailed it. I don't want to settle anymore. Whoever's voted for 1 and 15, get the fuck out of here. Just get the fuck out of here. There is nothing to celebrate about, except now we have to stress watching on my computer, watching Jaguars, Bears in one game, while on my other television I have to watch the Jets hopefully lose. Yeah, I love nothing more than the holiday season to get high blood pressure. That's nothing more I want to do now than that ever. 2 things to focus on. Holy shit, who wants to do that? So,
Jake, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
I love you guys.
Great
all right,
call, man.
Keep it up.
Great call, man.
All right, let's go, Jack. All right.
Sir, great call, bro.
Next up, we got Dylan in Long Island. Dylan, what's up, man?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Some of these callers are just making me cringe so hard. The 2 guys before who called, not the last guy, the guy before who talked about Kyle Trask. Is he not thinking? What is he talking about?
It was ugly, man.
Yeah. He just compared Kyle Trask to Trevor Lawrence. They should not be said in the same sentence. That's disrespectful. I think.
Hey, at least but he's happy about 1 to 15 though.
I think the problem that people have figuring out between Trevor Lawrence and QBs like Zach Wilson and Kyle Trask is they're looking at only from the statistical standpoint and not from the impact perspective. Look at Notre Dame and Clemson's first game that they played, right? Where Trevor Lawrence was hurt and DJ was forced to play. And yeah, Notre Dame won as expected, as most analysts expected, because when the best quarterback in college football is hurt and you have the pressure, when the backup quarterback has the pressure of trying to win, yeah, it's going to be very hard. And then look what happened. And I've been as a Bama fan, right? I've been trying to tell all the Notre Dame fans, watch look what's going to happen. Wait till Trevor Lawrence is going to come back. Watch what's going to happen. What happened? What happened, Tyson? You're a Notre Dame fan. What happened?
That's not. No comment.
Exactly. Got mollywopped all over the field. Trevor Lawrence, 55-yard pass. Trevor Lawrence reading, just ran by 7 defenders. And people have the nerve to compare him. Obviously he was out for he's a generational talent. And I was Tyson. I was listening to your stream while watching the Rams and Jets game. I'm like, what are we doing? Oh my God, it was difficult, man. Oh man.
Now, you know what it comes down to? It's like choosing Peyton Manning or Blake Bortles. That's what losing Trevor Lawrence is to me. That's where I'm at right now with it. So, in all of this, we got the second pick of the draft. Who the fuck cares about the second pick of the draft? I don't want that.
Nobody cares about the second pick of the draft. We want the first
Absolutely,
pick.
Bro. It's crazy. Like, yo, I mean, you can have Peyton Manning, but now we're gonna draft Blake Bortles or Mitch Trubisky because they got good stats, man. It shit makes no sense, man.
Yeah,
but this is what we do.
And I commented on on the stream yesterday about like with the Jets fans, the people who think that 1-15 is a good thing. I'm like,
crazy.
They don't understand like the difference between like our current pride and then how we're gonna feel like next year. Like, are they not paying attention? Like, yes, I understand from the perspective like, yeah, no matter what sport, no matter what team you're cheering for, you never don't want to go without a season, without winning a game. Like, imagine being an NBA team and you go 0-82. Like, that's horrible. But like, people are not thinking like they're thinking about the now.
Got to see the big picture.
We got one win.
Exactly.
We're not gonna be like the 2008 the Lions. We're not gonna be like the 0-16 Browns. We have a win under our belt. We beat a top 5 defense. For what? What is it gonna do? It's gonna do nothing. It's only gonna hurt us in the long run. And now, Trevor Lawrence, a generational talent, a QB that has the potential that's being compared to Andrew Luck and John Elway. He's going to go to Jacksonville. Do you know how, like, who wants to play in Jacksonville? Let's be honest. Nobody wants to play in Jacksonville. Like, have
you know what though? Dylan, the thing is though, that could be the break that Jacksonville needs to get their organization turned around and get back to like winning ways for them too.
Exactly.
So
and I commented
do what we should have did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what we needed. We need this. If people don't understand it, we need to hit bottom to come back up. Now the rebuild is just going to continue because we haven't hit bottom. The Johnsons haven't realized that you at the end is nothing else to do but turn around and come back up. I mean, Cleveland's a prime example.
I even commented yesterday on the stream saying that watch the Jaguars get Trevor Lawrence and watch them properly, because they're not stupid like the Jets. Watch them properly, hire a coach, and get Trevor Lawrence and start to build around him. Would you be surprised next season if they get maybe 5 to 7 wins? No, I wouldn't be surprised.
No,
not at all.
That's the whole thing.
It's only the Jets. It's only the Jets. Like, and then it pisses me off that some people are so delusional, and oh my God. And obviously from the player's perspective, like, yeah, you understand. As a player, obviously their families have this different perspective than we do. But like, oh my God, people who are saying 1-15, like, and if you want to make it worse, that those are the people that are saying that we're the fake fans.
Yes,
dude. It's just so hypocritical. It's so hypocritical.
Dylan, first of all, thank you for joining us on the streams, man. We definitely appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. We definitely appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Guys.
Good talking.
Thank you for everything.
All right, we got to wrap this thing up here. So I'll let you guys go first. Tyrone, your thoughts?
Hey, man, I hope everybody with that 1-15 victory that we got are solely happy to watch our franchise go through what we got to go through for another 10 to 15 years. And I want to say one last thing. The best Jet podcast, you're talking to him. Let's go.
Primetime, your thoughts?
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. What do we do to deserve this shit? Man, life is a Jet fan. I don't know what else to say. I'm burnt out from talking about this shit and being lectured by people about how to be a fan. There's only so much I can even get into that stuff and all the quarterback stuff. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoys their holidays, gets a break away from all the Jet stuff and everything, at least for a couple of days. We appreciate all the support, and let's pray for a miracle these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that's been tuning in, like giving us feedback on the YouTube, everything else. The support's been overwhelming, and we cannot be more appreciative. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. Stay healthy, be safe, and it's never a dull moment with this team, man. So just be careful out there, and we'll talk to everybody either Friday, Sunday, next Tuesday. And Tyrone, welcome aboard, man. You are now in the fire pit, dude. It's good to see that you've embraced our chaos.
Oh, man, the night was fun, man. We had fun tonight, man. We had fun tonight. I love the fire, man. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it, baby.
Everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you next time.
Happy holidays, man. Love you guys. Good.